about how our mic situation goes. He was like, I just got mine tuned right up so I can be far away. And
yeah. You can't tune these ones.
No.
You got to be super close to him. And I figured out, too.
Ken.
Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did, though?
Did he turn it around?
He turned it. So he was like this.
Yeah.
And it was only picking up like what was bouncing down and then coming up. So
we got to get him back for another.
So whenever somebody wants to do that, you have to like
lock it.
You just have to move it. Like no, if they want to,
we have to train the people that we're interviewing.
So you would just go like this, and then remember this is always forward.
Yeah.
So then you just do that.
Yeah.
So if they want to turn it sideways, we
can.
You
looked at the booms.
We talked about those.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get a significant upgrade here in the new year.
Yeah, we got to look at some booms.
Yeah. I'd like to have different microphones and something just that we can take on the road as well.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of doing on-sites because we're so fucking busy.
This is true.
So if we're at, you guys are going to pick up here soon. I pick up soon, and it'd be nice just to say, okay, if you're going to be there, I'll be here, and then we can just set up, Are
we good right now?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good now.
Yeah, you're good. But, and then we scheduled the open mats on Sundays.
Yeah.
To be at 11, so we could accommodate a 9 o'clock podcast.
Ooh.
That's why, personally, why I did that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I was gonna make it for 10.
When's that starting? Open mats.
Yeah.
Valor Combat Academy. That's gonna be strong.
I'm excited,
bro. That's gonna be strong.
I'm super excited. And then on Tuesdays we'll have class. Right before Krav, so it's going to have nice visibility.
Yeah.
That was actually something that Jeff had said. He's like, and Jeff and Chris.
Yeah.
They're like, you should have it on Tuesdays because you have a bunch of people there. It's right before Krav. There's no cardio kickboxing.
Perfect.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a no freaking brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be times where I
can't come, but
I can't make it on occasion too. Because I have to travel for work, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But we were talking last night. We had dinner with my partner last night up by Cleveland.
Yeah.
And we were talking about hiring another guy, so I'm excited about that.
Really?
Tentative, but I'm excited. Yeah. Yeah. So then my travel can ease up a bit.
Yeah. So
in the next couple years.
But then what's your other family in Ohio gonna do?
Well, I got to break up. And that's a weird thing. It's a hard thing to do, but at some point you got to step away. They knew it was coming.
They knew. The breakup was coming. And the writing was on the wall.
It was.
I could only do this for so long.
Once every couple weeks became once a quarter, became, twice a year. After 5 years, you barely see them.
But the 10 kids you got.
Listen, Darwinism. They got to figure it out. Don't come at me for any money. I'm only joking.
Yes.
But anyhow, if you're still around,
yeah.
I'm Ron Jordan.
Aaron Diaz.
And another episode of Stars Podcast. So jump into it. Kind of what have you been up to?
Oh, bro. So the schools are growing. Seminars are flying.
I can't believe how many people have signed up. New students signed up at the Hermitage location.
Oh, Hermitage is blowing up.
Incredible.
Well, I think people are starting to take notice. Like we're not playing around. Like we want to put out great competitors. Taekwondo. We want people to be so sure of themselves for the Krav self-defense system we got, which we're all revamping. We're looking.
Yeah, because you guys are going down to Jacksonville.
Yep, going down to Jacksonville. To get some more stuff.
Make it happen this year.
That's gonna be a good time.
Anyhow, I'll stop interrupting.
But we're also looking to see some different ways of incorporating the Krav system and some of the things that work and some of the things that may not work as well. So we're just continuing to educate ourselves to make it just an easier, more comprehensive, system.
Just like any other profession,
right.
It's continuing education credits.
Yeah.
Everybody else has to have them, and
yeah.
So should martial arts, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always evolving.
It is.
There's always better ways to do things, and that's why, guys that are, fight all the time and things like that. They're continuing to evolve their game because people pick up on what's going on.
Right.
So yeah.
You got to stay forward thinking, and it also we're humbled enough to say, you know what, this will work, or you know what, this doesn't work. I mean, if that was the case, you wouldn't have Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. You wouldn't have, different types of karate. You wouldn't have so many different ways of Taekwondo. Martial art, people think that, hey, look, this is what it is. No, things have morphed into something else.
That's such a different mindset in the martial arts community versus, let's say, in my professional life, I sell to electric utilities.
Right.
Change to them is like, no way. That's not going to happen because people get set in their processes and ways they do things.
And people don't like change.
Well, not only that, sometimes change can impact lives. In a big way. Yeah. They're obviously always going to impact lives, but in a big way, and changing something could mean you have to change 100 different other items as well. So it's difficult and it's a process.
Yeah, and it's always seriously, I don't think there's anything that's been the same and has been successful. I mean, you got iPhones, you got even the Samsungs, the internet.
Yeah. That's why businesses are so hard to keep up.
Yeah.
A business that has been in business for, you say 100 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you've went through 10 decades. Just think of how much things have changed in the last decade.
Yeah.
And you've went through 10 of those as a company.
Right.
And survived. So you've been adapting and changing to that environment.
That's big.
And that's something that if you want longevity, you have to be able to be humble enough to say, okay, yes, that worked. We need to take a jump now because this is where the industry's going.
Yeah.
Or this is what people are doing. And we don't want to be teaching something that was old.
Right.
You always want to be on the cutting edge.
So it's pretty cool. So why
it's interesting.
Can things change and people always see change but when it comes to them personally, you want to still do the same exact thing every time.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it does to you. I don't understand. So I have a family member that turned into a diabetic. First it started out that it could be controlled with, just a diet. Mm-hmm. Then it went to, hey, I need insulin. Then it went to, hey, look, you need to change your diet. Now you start to, things are getting chopped off. Things it's a slow progression, but you want to still have that same mentality. Why is that? Why can't we could see so much change and say how much change we want to do, but when it comes down to us personally, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Do you want to consistently be the same way?
Maybe they do. If you let yourself get to that point in your situation, maybe that is what they want. Maybe they're done.
The whole
maybe they don't got any fight left.
The give up mentality, man. That's
it's hard for you to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
And you just look at these people like that and you're like, why? And sometimes they're just so ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
That they're like, man, I let myself get this far. Why the hell would I even try to get back?
Yeah. I started out 185, then I blew up to 235, then I'm up to 400 and change. Where do you
draw the line?
My goodness. So I remember how I tell you I want to start reading more. I wanted to get in more books. Well, I'm not reading, I'm listening. So the audio book.
Yeah.
But it's called Unfuck Yourself.
Interesting.
Great book.
Who's the author? What's it about?
Oh gosh, now you're gonna test me. Goodness, I'm gonna have to get.
If we're gonna bring up books, we gotta tell what we're doing.
So basically in the book, it's nothing crazy. Gary John Bishop, look, it's right up front on my thing, man. Unfuck yourself.
Nice.
So there's so many people that would turn off just from hearing the title. Right?
Well, yeah.
But there's so many people that would turn on
get out of your head and into your life
hearing the title. It's all about positive affirmation, having a different mindset of thinking.
Now, does he go through a 4-step process? Does he break it down like morning routines?
No. He's just giving you a different way of thinking, and it's kind of funny because I could have wrote this book,
Yeah.
But this guy, this is not mind blowing stuff. So he takes different quotes from people and then he brings it into the chapter. It's a real good way of it. It's an easy.
And what is
listening?
Is he a motivational speaker?
As far as the background of this author, I have no idea.
Okay. So where did you hear about him from?
So I had some credits on my audio book, and just like me, I saw the title and I was like, but maybe it's a horrible book.
Sure.
With a great title, So I was like, So then he got on the bestseller list, and I was like, okay, he can't be that bad.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there steady looking at it, and I'm like, whatever. I got free credits on the book. Let me go ahead and do it.
Right.
And it's really good. It goes really on what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
If you start to speak things into existence. So if you start to, oh man, my life's so shitty. Oh no, I can't do that. You're not going to do that.
Sure.
You're not. It's a total hard way of motivating yourself. Like, my life sucks. Or those people that say, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's pretty shitty. Or just, another day in the toilet. Stuff like, why?
I made it a very poignant effort to not say stuff like that. Like, to never say anything like that when somebody asks me how it's going. Like, the Another Day in Paradise thing, I don't ever say it.
Another Day in Paradise?
Yeah, like,
that's a positive affirmation at least.
But, kinda. But you say it in a real shitty way. Like, hey, how's it going? Hey, just another day in paradise.
It's all about the tone of the sarcasm.
It is.
That's why I hate text messages. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I was I just making an effort to say very well or I'm doing great and just stuff like that to kind of, even if you're not, sometimes just saying it is good enough to get through. Oh, so he's got a bunch. He's got a couple. Does he have a bunch of books?
So 2016 he did Unfuck Yourself. 2019 he said stop doing that shit, end self-sabotage and demand your life.
So he's
back.
all about that self-talk and the
I'm digging it,
and
man.
the way that it can go real south on you.
Yes.
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely attest to that. This last week I made a mistake at work.
Yeah. And
it was a mistake that I've told other people not to make.
Oh, well.
Oh man. So it stung real bad though. And I freaked out. I was wearing my Garmin watch and I looked at this is after the fact. Like I looked at my heart rate and my heart rate was at 90. And I'm usually at a resting 40-ish, and it went up to a 90 when this thing happened.
Yeah.
Calling who I need to, and I'm like, hey, what do I do? And he goes, listen, it's okay, relax. But in my head, I'm like, dude, you're going to get fired. You're the worst employee ever. I can't believe after 5 years, this is what you're still doing. Like, you idiot. How could you be so dumb? Like, all of it. Just do. And I'm like,
you know what, though?
Hey, man.
You're freaking human, bro.
I get it. But I went up and I talked to my wife and I said, hey, like, what do I do? And she goes, just call Mike. Just call Mike. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. So I did, and then I did calm down a bit after that. But, man, I thought it was the end of the world. And then they both are like, what is your problem? But it was such a bonehead move that I've told other people not to make this mistake, and then I go ahead and make the mistake and then can't believe it. And then you just beat yourself up so hard. I mean, it took me 4 hours
to get out your head.
4 hours of just like.
So then how'd you do it?
Around.
How'd you get out of the head? Because people that's going to listen to this and be like, oh yeah, I've been that guy. Yeah. I do that 2 or 3 times a freaking week.
Actually, I'll show you what I did, wherever my phone went to. I got to go off camera. Hang on.
Yeah. So this guy, I mean, he does some really good stuff. This Gary Bishop.
So my wife, she goes, I'll just read through. She won't mind. Because this is what it's about. Stop putting yourself in a mindset where you don't permit yourself to be proud of what you do and how far you've come.
Boom.
Then I go through the imposter syndrome stuff. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I just feel like sometimes, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
You know? And she continues to just be super positive and telling me, you need to write down what's going on.
Yeah.
And write down the positive things that you have going on. So I was like, all right. So that's what I did. And I made one of the note, and I put thankfulness. I said, stop, you need to read this. And then I just went through, and I wrote down all the positive things that I have going on, all the things that I did well this year. And it's like, okay, you've created a mountain of positivity that is going to crush this little tiny pebble of bullshit that you did today.
I like it.
And it's like, that's all I needed, though. But if I didn't have the relationships that I have in my life, like, I could have certainly spiraled in a way that was not good.
Yeah.
You know, and continued down that negative road. So it was just something that happened to me this past week. And things that we hear from all these gurus is like, you know, write down your positive thoughts, write down and speak it into existence.
Yes.
So that's what I was doing. And it worked. It really calmed me down. I was able to, you know, at that point, just kind of come down, take some deep breaths. I literally took deep breaths.
Yeah.
Blew it out, shook it off, and then just continued with the day. But it took, I mean, 4 hours.
Well, you know, something that takes you 4 hours could take people 4 or 5 days, 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. Certainly.
Know, and maybe because they don't have that. They don't have that positive person around them. Because, you know, misery loves company, right? So say you didn't have that, or you ran into your buddy that's just as much, he's a self-sabotager as you. And you'd be like, you know what? Whatever, man. Just leave that freaking job, or just whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like
super good advice, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, you don't need that job. Just stay at home with me, and we'll sit there and knock off 2 bottles of whiskey right quick, and it'll all feel better. How many people do that?
Yeah. I'm glad I don't have those friends.
Seriously. Yeah, but I think you got enough positive people around you. I if you would have reached out on me, I would have freaking just told you, hey, get your shit together. Stop playing around.
No, and that's honestly what I needed at that point, was like, dude, relax.
Right.
I made the mistake before, nothing bad happened. So why would anything bad happen this time, you know? And it was just a bonehead move.
Yeah.
You attach the wrong attachment to an email and you send it, and you're like, oh no.
Here we go.
Here it is.
But like anything else, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna end eventually. Something's gonna happen.
I was worried about the ending. I was worried about what that was going to mean.
But you know, you would have been just fine. Because
in my heightened state, I was freaking.
You weren't fine.
I was in a hot state, not a cold state. Like, I was like irrational, very emotional. Shouldn't be making any decisions at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I needed to take a step away at that moment. But when you're in that moment, it's hard to get out of a hot state and be rational.
The thing is, when you come into that stress, you have no rational thinking at all. Mm-mm. You know, you're just up there, you're just jumping. You probably can't even formulate a damn sentence.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, what? Mother, you know, and that's just where it goes. But your brain's not catching
breaths,
up. Yeah,
the tingling in my back, hot sweat,
sweaty,
ears almost get hot.
Yes,
all of those feelings were like, your fingers start to tingle, and then I'm just like, oh God, now what do I do? So it was interesting.
So think about a time where you didn't have such great positivity. How long you think that event would have lasted for you?
Well, shit, it lasted for about 2 years at one point.
Oh my gosh! See,
you know what I mean?
2 years compared to 4 hours. You know,
certainly, that's good for me.
Yeah. but this will also help you next time.
Yes.
Right? So maybe the 4 hours would take it down to 1 hour because you know exactly what to do. Yeah. So that experience on
that's
how
why
you got
I labeled
there.
the note what I labeled it.
I like it.
Because, like, stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yes.
Stop freaking out. Stop doing everything. And just read this. So hopefully I can prompt myself to do that the next time.
Yeah. So
hopefully not the next time, but
this is not like a self-help podcast, but there you go. You just got some freaking knowledge off of a dude that went through the, his emotions and how much he's grown since then. So just having that positive, affirmation, or surround yourself around some positive people. Because the next person, one thing that this guy said in his book, you have 50,000 thoughts a day.
Gosh.
He said some of them you can't control.
Yeah.
But the ones that you can, how do you want to attack them?
Right.
And so I got 50,000. You got 50,000. Bro, if we just start going at each other's thoughts, it'd be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to that MFCEO project with Andy Frisella last week. So he ended that podcast, by the way.
He's done with it.
Yeah. He started a new one.
Oh.
It's Real AF.
Okay.
And it's Real Andy Frisella or whatever you want.
Yeah.
So he did start a new one. But last week he was talking about, like, if you could see or think the other person's thoughts, like your thoughts, my thoughts, whatever, your wife's thoughts, you're like, you would never talk to these people again.
Right.
Because of the thoughts that you have on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, it can get weird. He was talking about all types of crazy stuff. But it was a part of a bigger story. Yeah. Obviously. But yeah, the 50,000 thoughts brought that up.
Serious.
Because there's no way you could recall a percentage of those.
Right.
But how many of those are positive? How many of those are negative? How many of those are just benign? Yeah.
But the people that consistently stay in that negative mindset, it baffles me. It still baffles me. So everybody's like, it's Monday. Gosh. So my whole new thing, hey, look, you like Friday? It's like, yeah. Well, you can't have Friday without going through Monday.
Doesn't Gary Vee? He's just like, it's another day.
It is.
He's like, why do you look forward to the weekend? So you should be enjoying every single day of your life.
Absolutely. And have that same on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah.
But
that
it's not easy.
That mindset's horrible, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a group mindset, It's one of those deals where, if I say it and you say it, then we can be friends and we can connect on that misery level.
Yeah.
And at least we're connected then.
Right.
So at the very least,
like, everybody's like, oh, I hate this job.
Yeah. So if there's 50 of you at a plant and you guys all say the same things, then like that becomes your thing, but you're still a community. So that's positive. At least you have a community.
Yeah. But I don't know. Cancer, bro.
I don't know. Is it though? If you're still pumping out solid work and you feel great at the end of the day, does it matter, like, these nuanced sayings that we say? Like, I just wonder.
Yeah. But how long before that erodes into morale of the company, let's say?
Yeah.
How long does that last? You could only get punched in the face so many times, before you're just like, look, I can't get punched in the face no more. Yeah, I can do it the first couple of times, but do I want to continue to get punched in the face?
Yeah, like Uriah Faber last night.
See, I didn't see it.
Oh, he got punched so many times in the face. He got knocked out they come out of a clinch. He got head kicked.
Ooh,
out of the clinch.
That's a hurt.
So scary Russian on the other end, Peter Yan.
I was watching the Conor McGregor's thing on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty cool. I
mean, how about the guys who were following him around from the time he was a nobody?
Yeah, rags to riches, man. The guy, he was just working in a plant in freaking Ireland, quit his job to go fight, and and his woman, I don't know her name, but she's been with him when he was sleeping on a couch,
cooking him food.
Strong.
Yeah.
Strong.
She's like, this gladiator's gonna make it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because he had that positive affirmation. He's like, look, I'm going to be a king. I'm going to be number one in the world. And I was hearing her interview. She was like, I believed him.
Yeah.
I believed him.
Right.
Like, I just saw something. I believed him. Dana White said the same thing. He said, this kid got something that nobody got. Mm-hmm. You know, and he did.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, the guy's just electricity. But his first fight, his head coach was like, look, I will not continue to train you if you continue to act like this after you win a fight. But he didn't listen.
No, he's just so crazy. Yeah. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, it's strong. But again, he spoke his.
You hear about it so much too,
and people,
but they're still putting in a lot of work.
They are.
You're talking.
It's not easy.
Yeah, you're talking, but you're also working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there was what was it? A championship. I don't know what you would call it. Whenever you shoot guns professionally.
Okay.
Whatever. So
shoot guns professionally.
Yeah. So one of the champions, he spends 6 hours a day just visualizing hitting targets, and he went from second to first.
Yeah.
In this 1 year span where he was just doing 6 hours a day of visualizing. I'm sure he did other shooting as well.
Yeah.
And then his son did the exact same protocol and became a champion as well. So like I started thinking about this because I watched tons of jiu-jitsu videos, and it's like, you know, you can't do them all, but you can visually see yourself doing all of them.
Right.
Like if you can get to that level where you can visually see what's going on and like kind of run through every single time, it's I don't know if it works or not, but clearly it does. I've not tried it for 6 hours a day.
Well, there's a lot to that. So when we do seminars, and we do like gun defense seminars and knife defense seminars, and the people that maybe don't have the ability or they're not confident enough to actually perform it, they sit and watch. Now they have something that they can recollect to, you know. So there's a lot to that, and I think that they can probably see themselves doing it.
Yeah.
But until it actually happens, you got to have the mindset too that I'm gonna do it, and regardless how I'm gonna do it, this is how it's gonna come out. So and that's what it kind of brings up the conversation we were talking about of a violent society or just people that are into combative type sports. There's a lot more people than there were, you know, let's say 20 years ago. The only thing we had was boxing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There was some wrestling. But how many kids are sitting there watching MMA right now?
But we had wrestling like WCW, WWF. Yeah, that was big.
But that was studio based too.
But how many violent.
Kids? But how many kids were actually were doing it in their backyard? Like this was.
We were all
done.
doing
it. Yeah. Like here's a full Nelson,
dude. We would have
headlocks. Put him to
full-blown
sleep.
pay-per-views in my grandpa's room. Like shit.
Yeah. But like so when I was a cop we would look for signs of where there could be possible attacks, right? So if I'm pulling a guy over and he says, oh, I shoot first, ask questions later, and he's got this tap out freaking stickers in the back, like what do you think that guy's mindset is?
You know, just as a first glance, probably pretty aggressive guy.
A pretty aggressive guy. So when I pull this guy over, I'm going to have a certain level of alertness, right? As opposed to, hey, I love everybody.
You got like the coexist sticker on the back.
I stop for animals, you know, things like that. Like that's a totally different person. So
if you want to be undercover, you got to put the peaceful stickers on
exactly.
the car. Got it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But how long ago before that would that even be a thing? So now you got more people that maybe might want to fight because of this.
So you don't think that there were many fighters, like many people who wanted to fight, and just recently that's become something?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like it's always been a thing.
There's probably always been a thing, but I think now it's more prone. So, like, if you see, there's a bunch of videos out there now, right? So, if you see school fights, and somebody put somebody in a guillotine. Do you think he knew what a guillotine was 20 years ago?
Well, no, because he's in school.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't born yet.
But I'm talking about the mindset.
No, I'm just checking with you. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think there is certainly a vast knowledge base now. Yes. So yes,
I would skill level. Would
so just like the internet in general has expanded the ability for us to understand martial arts on a grander scale too, because we can watch. I mean, I can watch any type of fight that I want to at any time, really, and people breaking it down and explaining things to me and watching these tutorials.
Well, there's videos. There's people that get belts watching stuff on the internet.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Oh, Gracie has a freaking online membership that you can sit there and go through your belts. Yeah. Yeah. It's a thing.
Well, so that brings up a different point too, doesn't it? These belt factories and things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a different topic. I just think that the belt is such a focal point that it's just not a.
But as far as the violence that the internet is, you know, we're promoting. Like I'm telling you, nobody knew what a not a crucifix. What's another a toe hold? So put it this
like
way.
Heel hooks, twisters, all that stuff.
I never going for the shoot like. Who talks like that, right? Mm-hmm. So now you got people that are sitting there watching.
Or is it just because you're involved in those circles more so now?
Okay, all right, good. But when I when I was wrestling around with dudes when I was younger, I didn't have any jiu-jitsu background. I'm just flailing off, right? So because I've watched so much videos, now I'm like, oh, well, I can probably, get a double hook or whatever, or I can go in for a shoot now and I never did it.
Yeah.
I never did jiu-jitsu, but I was sitting there rolling. The first jiu-jitsu class that I went to was the one that we had up at the academy. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I was sitting there holding my own.
Right.
And that was just because I saw stuff on TV.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if it's more prominent now. Like if there's more people doing it
or more videos.
I have to assume that people are better now, the people who are doing it, because there's so much out there that you can, like most of the,
like a fight in a bar,
like the old school guys. Well, I don't know, the fight in the bar, those guys are not training, they're not watching videos. Those no dig at the guys that are at the bar, but you're probably not listening to this because you're at the bar. No, those guys are different. But the guys who are actually in the gyms and occasionally in the gyms, they're involved in the industry or involved in the sport somehow. Mm-hmm. You would be a fool not to be better than somebody who was like you as a white belt now versus a white belt in 1990.
Yeah.
You got to be better than that guy.
Right.
Just starting out because of all the things that you can watch and all of that. The learning curve is so much shorter.
Yeah.
You can get the basics pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If you're decently athletic or you have a decent brain on you, you can connect the dots to be basically okay.
Right.
And I think that's so different than, like you said, back in the 1990s or whatever, when you had started. Yes. I just have a hard time believing that there was less people who wanted to fight then than there are now.
No, not the mindset of fighting.
Oh,
the type of fighting. So the knowledge, like you said, you proved it, right? So a white belt now, as opposed to a white belt in the 90s, what would it look like? It would be you said. It's a whole lot.
A guy
shorter.
Now would whoop that ass.
See, exactly. So like
I feel like he would.
It's a whole lot shorter.
Yeah,
and.
I mean, you're seeing guys fight at top level within 6 months of training.
Yes. Well, not to mention the people that are in the bar, they might have saw videos or they got every pay-per-view that's out there. So now they want to test it. They want to fight it. Like, just because they think they can.
Yeah.
The ones that are training in martial arts, no, they don't have that mindset that, I want to go fight in a bar.
You don't want to.
But these
stay away from those places.
These are two separate people now. They're both there. They're still on this earth. You still got the tough guys that freaking watched Roadhouse back in the day, and it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna take them out.
Yeah.
As opposed to the martial artists that's staying away from those. But you have those tough guy people in there. The same people that lift weights. Oh, and they want to wear tight shirts and think I'm a badass. I'm gonna go and intimidate people. Yeah, that still happens
for sure.
That still happens. So just because there's a lot more martial arts doesn't mean that they change the mentality of the people that are out there.
Yeah,
like seeing a UFC fight, they're just like, yeah. Like
so you think more people were fighting?
I think more people are more dangerous. Not so much as the violence.
See, I see it a different way.
Do you?
I see people that are.
I like it.
More people that are doing martial arts, I think, makes for a more peaceful society. Not a society that wants to fight.
Well, right now you're in a circle of martial artists. Think about the people that.
And I know that, and that's why I'm cautioning myself in saying that is like because I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
But I know everybody that I hang around. Nobody gets in fights.
Yeah. It's just like, why? Can we fight?
Like,
yes.
We fight every day.
Yeah.
We roughhouse every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have to go roughhouse somebody who's not expecting it.
Right.
I saw this meme the other day. It was it was a TV show. It was like just a regular TV show, sitcom. And the boy comes down and he goes, Mom, I'm a little bit sore from jujitsu. And he's just like a real scrawny kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, why do you do it? He goes, we're boys. We roughhouse. That's what boys do. And I'm like, yeah.
Perfect.
That's perfect. It makes sense. But it was funny because he's just like this little scrawny kid. And he's like, I'm a little sore from jujitsu.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my house yesterday, so my son turned 4 yesterday, so that was pretty awesome. It's a crazy feat. Can't believe I have a 4-year-old.
Yeah, you just feed and water it for 4 years. It's amazing.
It's crazy. So, but
that's crazy. So he's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, B turned 11 on Friday, so we got similar kids' birthdays.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah. But
another connection.
It was so cool just to see them just roughhousing.
Yeah.
I had probably about 6 kids running around the girls were getting in just as much as the boys. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like,
that is cool.
It's just cool to see, like, them just going at it.
It's kids being kids. I mean, you watch.
Sometimes people cry and.
Well, you watch you watch animals. Yeah. Out in the wild, they're always messing around with each other, climbing on each other, biting each other. I think about the
lion and the lion cubs all the time.
Like whenever the lion's just laying there and the cubs are just
yeah.
You just think about your own life and how your kids are climbing all over you and how you feel. Like that lion feels that same way.
Yeah.
Like
it's like, come on, just don't hit me in the balls.
You were up all night. You were kicking me in the back. I didn't get any sleep, and now you're crawling all over me. We're not so different sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, we do have that.
But we do have to let the kids be kids and climb on things. And
now, when you think of predator and prey, right? So do you think that the baby deer are jumping and biting? No.
The baby deer?
Yeah.
Well, they're just trying to survive. Yeah, they're kind of fauna.
So you got the predator. Yeah. That's allowing this type of roughhousing. Why?
Because we're predators.
We're predators, man.
I just didn't want to jump the gun, but I did.
No.
That's what you're getting at?
That's exactly where I'm getting at. So my kid is sitting there punching me in the face and headbutting me and kicking me when I'm walking by. He sneaks around and knocks me one.
Right.
I don't know. Is that bad or good? Or is it my fawn that's freaking trying to just survive?
I don't think it's bad.
No, I don't think it's bad either. But just just how two things work. Do you have the people that are being fawns or being sheep?
Well, just like with, I mean, I don't have this as much, but with multiple kids in the same house, how different they can be.
Yeah. They're just, yes.
So, make that 300 million. And plop them down in the United States of America and see what happens.
I mean, DNA is a magical thing, too. So maybe the type of aggression that I might have in me, it's passed down.
Sure.
It's freaking ugly.
You wonder how much you do pass down, don't you? Like, even though...
I don't think it's a wonder. You pass it down.
I know, but you wonder, like, what all you passed down.
I got
you. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you passed down a ton.
Yeah.
But even whenever...
Bad habits, too.
Yeah, and they could even not live with you.
Yeah.
There are situations like with twins out in the world where they're separated at birth. They're totally separate, but they do the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so there's something in your genes that makes you do certain things.
Yeah.
Like
so
you're programmed.
My father, he was never there. Like, he left when I was 11 years old. And, like, his laugh is my laugh. Like, he's passed away now, but I used to hear his laugh, and that's exactly how I laugh now. My daughter, that's all the way in Hawaii, my oldest, you know, I was in and out of her life.
Yeah.
Like, she has the same exact laugh. I ran into a military friend of mine that was stationed with my ex, her mom, and he was like, oh my gosh, it's so funny because she laughs just like you.
Yeah.
Or she has that same sarcasm just like you. And, I mean, we're miles apart. My son's the same way. It's sarcasm. I had a friend of mine that seen him. It was years. It was probably about 8 years that seen him. And she was like, you liking school? And he was like, yeah, I love school. Like, super sarcastic. And she looked at me. She was like, oh, that is so you. I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so some of the bad comes out in that DNA, too.
Yeah.
Daggone DNA.
For sure.
But you're hoping, like...
You hope for the best.
Yes.
Like, just
it's
take
just
the
a
good
smorgasbord of
just take the good
garbage that they could get, you know? Addictive personalities.
Yeah. Yeah. I've noticed something just with Brielle was like some of the things that she does. Like, she'll pick up on, and I don't know if this is just all kids, but she'll be all about something for 5 minutes. And then it's all about something else for 5 minutes. And then all about something else for 5 minutes. And it's like, that was me for sure, because I was in this sport and then I was in that sport. And then, you know, and I was always 110%. And it was funny, too. So I was talking about the new schedule at Grove City. And I said, man, I'm having some anxiety about this because of these Tuesdays. I'm not going to be able to make some of them.
Yeah.
You know. She's like, why do you always have to be just 100% in or 100% out? There's the ability to be, not that you're just kind of in, but you can be 100% in when you can be there.
Right. Yeah.
But that was like totally foreign knowledge to me. Like,
you do it, though. You do it.
Right.
You just never said, I do that.
Yeah, but it was like one of those things that gives me anxiety. And I was never really able to connect it. It was like, I have to be 100% in or 100% out. Or else I feel like if I would skip classes during the week of Krav.
Yeah.
Like, you beat yourself up over it, but it's like, well, you had to.
Right.
So.
How old are you?
33.
33. You're finding so much about yourself at 33. We think we have it all figured out.
I'm looking.
We think we had it all figured out.
Yeah.
We didn't have shit figured out. Nothing.
No.
Like, but you ask a 19-year-old right now, oh, he has his world figured out.
Oh, dude, we're a bunch of idiots. He's got it.
Right. You guys just did it all wrong.
You'll eat some humble pie soon.
Yes.
I'll see you later.
And then you come back and say, you know what, you were right about. Thanks. That's all. That's all.
Yeah,
I need.
You don't really ever appreciate your parents until you're about 28.
Yeah. I
really don't think you do until you really have to fend for yourself. You know, like, yeah, you could fend for yourself at 16, 17, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That was more my reality than needed to be. But, like, I still feel most people, 25, once you really start getting on your own apartment, you know, where you're really paying your own bills.
Yeah.
I think you don't really appreciate parents until then.
Some police departments won't talk to you until you're 27.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. So now you've gone through some life experiences.
Right.
Instead of, and this is what's scary about the military, 18. You send these people out there, very impressionable, very, you know, like, I'm going to do what the heck you tell me to do, or I'm not because I think I know better.
Yeah.
You know, and here we are.
Who else are you going to convince? I always think about, like, World War II.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who else would you... You're not going to convince me to go do something like that right now. I mean, maybe.
Depends on your mentality, man.
It depends, like, what is happening.
Yeah.
But, like...
If you can choose...
I don't know.
If you can choose, like, where to go, when to go, and if I believe in going there, I think that's where it's at. So if I said, hey, look... You know, these people are getting decimated, and they're taking out their entire generation. Are you willing to jump in on that and help?
Yeah, that would be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be a cause-oriented.
Yeah,
decision.
because we think now we have a knowledge base. We're like, okay, well, this is morally wrong, or this is I don't like seeing people. That's where I'm at now. I don't want to create any more victims, so that's why I'm all into this. You know, into the Valor system.
Yeah.
You know, it brings me right. I just got a text. There was a sexual assault, 5 miles from the school up in Meadville. So I reached out to the school and said, hey, look, what do you want? Like, out for free. I just don't want something like this. I want people to feel sure of themselves. I want people to understand that, hey, look, this is life, and this is how I want you to combat it. And the school was like, this is way too brand new. We can't delve into this right now. What we're going to do is just cancel classes. What we're going to do is just, appease the emotions. And to me, I want to appease to the combativeness. I don't want to appease to their emotions. I want them to understand, look, there is a way to fight. There is a way to be aware. There's situational awareness is a thing. Even if it's just to change a person's mindset. Yeah. Like, hey, look, this looks like a bad idea.
I think situational awareness is it's not practiced enough.
No.
It's
hard because it's like a catch-all word, but I don't think people are really understanding the concept of that.
Yeah, we do a ton of impact training and power and aggression and all that, but you can avoid all of it by not going to the bar. Yeah. Just like we were talking about, you can put yourself in situations that could possibly go sideways. Mm-hmm. You can also put yourself in situations where about 99.99% that it won't go sideways.
Yeah.
And we used to talk about it more.
Yeah.
Situational awareness. Like, we used to talk more about those hypothetical situations. So I just feel like we should talk more about them.
Absolutely.
Because it opened my eyes to understand really how a lot of people are walking around very scared.
Yeah. Well, that's being hyper vigilant.
Or just unaware.
They
are on their phones and walking to the car with a cart, and they're just looking down the entire time, and who knows what could be going on around them.
Yeah.
And I'll even find myself doing that. Like, I sit there and read books.
Yeah.
While things are going on, I have a hat on, and it's like I've been in this area and I have no idea what's going on around me.
Right. The world is
ending. And I got
to
snap out for a second. Like, dude, look around. Is everything okay? You've been down in this book for like 30 minutes and life still went on, believe it or not.
Like, you don't run with buds in, right?
No.
Why?
Well, because it's dangerous.
Absolutely.
I run where there's cars. Yeah. I want to know if there's somebody coming up behind me. I want to be able to hear everything.
Right.
And I love being out there in the peace as well. Like, I'm at a point now where...
So the breath and the beating of the feet.
All of that is very important to me.
Yes.
If I listen to music, it throws me completely off. And it's another thing to go dead.
Yeah.
Like, I have a hard time keeping this thing charged.
Yeah.
And it lasts for 9 days at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have 9 days to, like, charge it, and it still goes dead.
See, and people just
But yeah, I like to be aware because... you're out there for hours upon hours.
Nobody's really thinking that. You know why? Because we're not a threat.
Well, everybody wears those earbuds.
We're a threat. We are a threat. We, especially now. You go to Israel. How much do you think they're just not like boom? There's bombs going off. There's freaking people running around with knives.
Very aware.
They have to be
very aware
because that's the world that they live in. We are not changing that mindset. Valor is, you know, we're trying to get it out there, and it's not even for our pockets or for our purse. It's because I don't want any more victims, bro. Like, that's just my deal. Like, we just need to get out of this victim mentality. We need to get out of this, like, hey, look, nothing's going to happen to me. Where you got a freaking great school. It's like the Harvard of freaking Northwest Pennsylvania. And they're going around oblivious. Not everybody has your best interests in heart.
It's hard for people to think that way.
It's horrible. Oh, yeah.
Because you want to assume positive intentions.
You do.
On one hand. And then on the other hand, you're like, this guy could kill me.
Absolutely.
This woman could kill me. She could be asking me real sweetly, hey, do you know where this is and that is? And then some guy comes up and whacks me in the head with a bat. You know, those are things that happen.
Yeah.
You know, they work in pairs. They work in threes. You know, so you have to, like when you're giving somebody money, you know, that's homeless or whatever, like, is that a setup? You know, you just got to... You want to assume positive intentions, and then you also want to be aware. So, like, there's that super fine line of what is hypervigilance.
Yes.
What is, like, the everybody's out to get me versus everybody's great.
Right.
Like,
where's
trying
that
to find that middle ground.
Between.
And it's going to be individualistic. What I say is mine is not yours, is not my wife's, is not, you know, Terry's.
Yeah.
You know?
And when we do the knowledge-based stuff, that's exactly what we say. You know, everybody's different. So I got a new student, just started. She's a great person. She's a social worker. She's all about, you know, just, hey, look, I want to talk through this. I want to get through this. And I was like, what about the mentality of the person that doesn't want to hear you and just wants to hurt you? Well, I think that I can talk my way. You could think that all you want.
Right.
But if the person doesn't have the mental ability to listen to you, it's a problem. Or you being a woman, it might be worse of a problem. Maybe they were abused by a woman. Maybe they just don't respect women. You know, there's people out there like that. So for you to paint this broad picture of, well, I think I can talk my way out of that. Because we were going over, like, eye gouges. It's like, there's no way I can do this to somebody. I said, I totally got it, until he's trying to tear your pants off. Then what are you going to do?
Just grab.
Yeah.
Grab for whatever you can.
So it's a harsh reality. And sometimes we bring that into the classroom, which I tell these people, you know, I tell my students, I said, hey, this is a sanitized environment, and I want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, of course not. It's not really seriously hurt, but I want you to feel vulnerable.
Well, to go back on something that I listened to and what I brought up a little bit earlier was being in a hot state versus a cold state. So in a cold state, you're rational. You're thinking rationally.
Yes.
In a hot state, you're not. So you got to train, because if I come up and choke you, you're going to be in a hot state immediately.
Right.
So you're going to be irrational. So you got to rely on your training to react, kind of like breathing.
Yes.
Right? So that's how the military trains. They put you in heightened states and make you figure things out to train your brain to be more rational even when you're in heightened states, in these hot states
We're cultivating different responses.
Right, but we do the exact same thing you know, during the fit tests and during multiple attackers and things like that. It's like you have to go through these hot state situations and be able to react appropriately,
right? So
you can create a ABCD instructional manual in your head when this happens,
right?
So it was really interesting to listen to that podcast. It was on Hidden Brain, and because I'm like, this is so adaptable to everything that we do, because it's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
We are in a hot state, trying to remember combinations, trying to remember all types of different things, and you are going to forget 90% of the time.
Yes.
But you're still reacting.
Right.
You're still giving them something that they're not used to. So it's like, I understand why we're doing this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I kind of understood.
Yeah.
But there's science behind it.
Absolutely.
As to why we do it the way we do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys,
geniuses
up in here.
But and this is not something that we made up ourselves, but the
just the curriculum in general is like it's made.
Absolutely.
It's modeled around that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the science is there. The other thing, when we break down, like, let's say reflexive cover, and we want your arm to be here, your hand to be here, we want to make it look pristine at 100 to 95 to 100%, right? Because when it comes to when the shit hits the fan, you're probably going to do 30% of it.
We did sparring the other night.
Oh, I heard about it. It was love. It was a good time.
Dude. I covered maybe twice.
Yeah.
I'm like such an idiot whenever we start.
Oh, Shara Lee she loved partnering with you.
She is badass.
Bro, I tell you.
She's cool too, man.
I'm raising freaking killers up there, man.
She's good. She's got good footwork.
Yes.
She's quick in and out.
Thank you.
I'm telling you. And I told her that. I said, that was really good work today.
Yeah.
And I don't think she thought I was being genuine. I really was, because she was... And no dig at anybody else. She's just good.
Yeah.
You know, she was good at that part of it. And it was cool to partner with her because
I said, how many times you get punched in the face? She was like, a lot. And I said, how many in life did you ever get punched in the face? She was like, never. I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, now you know what it is. And that's what sparring is. It was amazing. Cool. I'm starting to advance.
I was working on my question mark kick. I caught a lot of people with it. It was awesome.
Mr. Filer is perfect at that.
Yeah.
He knows it very well.
But when I do it too much, my knee will hurt.
It's just a different muscle. It's a different muscle. You're not used to doing it. I work on it all the time.
Yeah. Like when we do round kicks with my right leg, it's always a question mark kick.
Really?
Yeah.
So now I know what to look for.
Oh yeah, but I disguise it pretty well because it's behind my jab.
Yeah.
And I'll teak kick you a couple times with my back leg.
Yeah.
And then it'll come up higher and then right on your head.
It's awesome.
It's cool. Awesome. But you don't really realize how you're going to react. Like I wanna grab you all the time. Like I want to close distance and grab you because like that's what I'm comfortable with now.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable striking and doing like a boxing match.
Right.
Like I'm comfortable. I'll take a couple hits.
Yeah.
Just to get in.
Yeah.
And then grab you and then double.
Yeah. She said here I am. I'm sitting there boxing. He punched me in the face a couple times, threw me to the ground, and I was like, okay. She was like, it was amazing. I was like,
well, that was it too. I was like, oh, because I did we just did a couple tap, and then I dropped levels and then got in, and then she like went right down. I was like, are you okay? And she looked at me and go, that was awesome.
Yeah.
She got right back up.
Yeah. No, it's great. Like so.
But we sparred for pretty much the whole class.
Oh,
he got the fit test right out of the way, and then the warrior conditioning immediately, and then we put sparring gear on.
Trey's coming down next one.
Good.
He just bought some gear.
Good.
Oh gosh, he's so super.
His 30% is gonna knock me out.
Yeah, he's so super stoked. He's just like, hey, I mean, because he's a big guy, bro.
He's huge.
He's what 6'4"?
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just, and he has a real crazy mentality. So he thinks he said it to me one time. He says, every time I think I can take you, he said you do something different. And I'm like, gosh. I was like, bro, I got to keep you on your toes. You're way too damn big.
Yeah.
I can't go toe to toe with you. No, I'm trying to end it.
I can't wait till he gets good at jiu-jitsu too.
Oh,
once he can get a decent ground game, he'll just take everybody. If he can't knock you out, he'll just be like, all right, well, I guess I'll just take you down and then choke you with my 8-foot legs. He's got bear paws. He's just a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun.
Super, super great mentality, though.
It is.
Martial art mindset, just like humble. And he's, he lets me beat up on him, for the sake of training. Well, he's an instructor now, so he has to go through those type of heartbreak.
He was watching Game Changers the other night.
Oh, that's the thing. So like
everybody watching it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't got a chance to watch it. Everybody keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
Game Changers.
I watched it a couple weeks ago, and then I listened to the podcast because there's a guy, I think his name's Chris Kessler. It was like, I don't know if he's the producer or if he was the guy who was kind of cutting up the.
So break it down. What's Game Changers?
It's about.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a documentary about the pros and cons about different types of diets. Mm-hmm. So if you eat a predominantly meat-based diet versus a vegetable-based diet, what that does for you. And to me, it seemed a little bit vegan propaganda-ish.
Yeah.
But they came at it from a more science standpoint. You know, in my opinion, you can make up whatever you want to make up.
Like plant-based proteins. And
yeah. But when he came on the podcast, not our podcast, but when he came on the podcast that I listened to.
He can. If you're listening, come on down to the podcast.
He defended it better than I've seen somebody defend like a vegan diet. He had tons of science behind it. The whole fact, like, oh, you don't get enough protein, he blew that out of the water. Oh, you don't get B12, he blew that out of the water. But you won't get enough iron, he blew that out of the water. Like, there was just things in it that I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Uh-huh.
And they did this one experiment, if you will. They had a bean burrito one day, and then a chicken burrito the next day. I think it was chicken, pretty sure. And there was a meat in the burrito.
Got it.
And these are Miami Dolphins, so
Okay.
they're professional athletes.
Gotcha.
They ate the vegetarian one, and then they drew their blood 2 hours later. They did the meat-based one, drew their blood 2 hours later. These are 24 hours apart. Okay, so one day they have this burrito, 24 hours they have the other burrito. 2 hours after that, they get their blood drawn. The one that was vegetarian, they did the whole spin thing to separate the plasma and all of that. Yeah. They did that, and then there was a clear separation between, all of the plasma and then the fats and all that. In the meat-based one, when they did the spin, it was very cloudy. And they said that's what builds up in your arteries.
The proteins from the...
Was that, whatever that material was in your plasma, that's what is impacting your cardiovascular system and all of your blood, and that's what builds up. That's the plaque that you see. And I was like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was one meal. You think about if you did that all day long, right? If you keep pushing meat every single meal, what that's doing potentially to your ductwork.
Yeah.
Your
cardiovascular system.
And what I took away from that was I shouldn't eat meat for every single meal like I usually do.
Yeah.
No, you can get protein from plants. Some of the biggest animals in the world are only plant eaters.
Yes.
So like
even dinosaurs.
Right.
Yeah.
The biggest animals ever.
Yeah.
Were plant eaters. So that it opened up my mind to more of a vegetable forward diet versus I'm keto or I'm this, I'm that. It's just more vegetables is better for you from a lot of standpoints.
So what I'd like to, and I don't know, just breaking it down. So are meat eaters, I'm just thinking dinosaur wise, meat eaters are more aggressive than plant eaters. Plant eaters are more passive. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. This is because you don't have enough energy.
Yeah, it's like, or you just pissed off.
Yeah, I don't, because you'd rather be eating meat.
Yes.
What gets me too is like,
why? You think about the predators in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying for sure. I mean, I think there's something to it. There's some parallels.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have to have everything, not everything, but like all the vegetarian stuff is always, hey, this is vegetarian sausage. Like, why do you make things taste like meat if you're trying to be away from meat? It blows my mind. Just eat the freaking vegetables and call it a day.
Because maybe we're wired.
You're programmed to think you need to have meat. And that's what this guy was saying. Like there was some really good information in that. Like I heard that Impossible Burger with Burger King. I heard it's really good, but it's really bad for you because it has so much like additives in it and things. It was
really
what I was hearing. And people say that.
Because Sheetz now got.
But who knows who said that?
Yeah. It's the meat people that said it.
Well, that was the thing that this guy kept bringing up was like all the studies that the other guy was talking about were funded by the FDA or, Nestle, places like that. Like those, you kind of raise an eyebrow when stuff like, okay, are blueberries better or strawberries better? Well, strawberries are definitely better. Well, who funded this? Or the Strawberry Inc.
Yeah.
It's like, so I don't know if I can believe that.
I did it for 30 days. I was a vegan. I was a vegetarian for 30 days. I didn't eat any meat.
Okay.
And it didn't go very well. So
were you supplementing?
No. So I was trying to get as much protein, mushrooms, beans, salads, and I probably could have done it better. Yeah. But it was something that me and my wife were just gonna try and see, because I like bean burgers. I like vegetarian meals. I really do. So I was like, well, let's try it. Let's see if we can do it. Bro, blood flow issues were a thing for me. Like I was maybe lethargic. I had no erection.
That's funny though, because they in the Game Changers, one of the other experiments was erection duration. Yeah, the erection duration and size.
So
increased.
Maybe they're doing something that was a whole lot better than what I was doing.
That's more what they were talking about in the podcast too. Was like, you got to do it right.
Right.
You got to supplement. You're not going to get everything you need. From vegetables.
So you got to be smart. You got to be educated on that, just like anything else.
Yeah. Because otherwise, you can hurt yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not getting the right minerals and things like that.
That's hard,
because we don't get as many minerals from the soils and the waters because we sanitize everything, which is good because now we don't die from like bubonic plague,
right?
But it's bad because you don't get the selenium and things like that.
So this is way too much education that I think that I have the mind for to like even I can't add another thing to my plate.
I just take a GNC multivitamin. It seems to cover the bases.
Really?
Yeah. I take a GNC multivitamin. It's a good vitamin. I take fish oil.
I take and
I supplement.
I do take a plant-based fish oil supplement, and I take that at night. I
How
sleep so much better.
How is it a plant-based fish oil?
I think it's not. It's not called fish oil. It's just the proponents that are in this
omega-6 and omega-12s,
or whatever it is. It's that type of.
Aren't you only able to get one of the omegas from fish oil?
I don't know. It's got to be something. It's got to be something going on with this plant-based stuff. I'll shoot you the back of the thing.
I'd like to see it. Just
see what it looks like. Yeah,
because that's like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
A plant-based fish oil.
Yeah, so it's not fish oil, but the people that take fish oil for these reasons, they found the plant-based alternative.
Okay. Yeah, that's really, as far as like what I supplement with, that's all that I was supplementing with. I take Alpha Brain as well.
I take probiotic.
I just drink kombucha.
Kombucha?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so much stuff out there. There's so much great stuff out there.
Yeah, well, it's a probiotic. It's a probiotic drink.
Is it live or? Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have someone that should be refrigerated. So the stuff that I take is freeze dried. So it doesn't get activated until it hits inside your system.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty interesting. There is
probiotics are just such a buzzword.
They are
right now.
And
ever since Truvia came out.
Truvia?
Yeah, that
powder drink?
No, the yogurt.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it Truvia?
Yeah. Is it a yogurt?
Yeah, it's like it's a green yogurt.
Yeah.
The yogurt's not green, but it is green packaging.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got it.
Ever since that commercial come out, probiotics have been like, you got to have yogurt. You got to have probiotic.
Oh, it's the same thing in any community. Like we talk about martial arts now like it's probiotic.
Right.
That's just the circles, bro. You start to go around people that you have commonality with.
I know. You do, for sure.
Like now.
They were talking about this. Okay, so Smart Water? They have like this different pH water.
Yes.
This dude is like a water scientist. Okay? He creates water filtration systems. He's Ben Greenfield's dad, Ben Greenfield Fitness. He's got a podcast. He's like he owns Keon, which is another company that's a supplement company.
See, you're on a totally different community right now.
Anyhow, what I'm getting at is he was talking about these like different pH waters. Mm-hmm. He goes, think about this. You put all of this food into your stomach, right? All this type of food in your stomach. It doesn't change your body's pH. And you think water is going to change your body's pH? Like just a little bit of water is going to change your body's pH. Here's your lying to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not doing anything. It's marketing. It's silly.
Like I as soon as you say that, I think about the secret deodorant, pH balance for a woman.
Yeah.
Bro, I love the stuff.
It's like,
yes, I've worn secret deodorant.
And I was listening to something too the other day. They were like, you know, it was Andy Frizzell actually. And he's like, people are waking up. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? He goes, people are just waking up to the bullshit that we've been told forever.
Yeah.
You know, like all these marketing schemes and the bill of lies we've been told. He's like, it just doesn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. People they can see what's going on the other side of the world.
I think we're gaining knowledge.
We are. And he's like,
thanks to the internet.
Yeah.
You know,
that's good and bad. How would I know anything about anything nutrition if it weren't for podcasts?
Yeah.
And I mean, the internet,
social,
because like I didn't go to school.
And people like, oh, this is a detriment to our society. No, my man, it's really not. It's really not. So there is a.
But again, what community do you run in?
Yeah. How many clicks we get? What 4,000 clicks a day? What are you clicking on? Mm-hmm. You know, what are you clicking on? Where are you going to?
How people are on the internet for 4,000 clicks?
It's a lot of clicks.
I mean, I'm in my email maybe 1,000 clicks.
I hate email.
I wish I could have a click counter. I bet you I can. I'm gonna see how many clicks I do.
Clicks. Dude. Well, you got clickbait.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
could get you down a rabbit hole. Like I told you, I was down this rabbit hole for a while with this.
Yeah.
With my Israelites thing. And,
that's right.
There's just now I'm off into something else.
Yep. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
That's it. I freaking send stuff all the time. Where we at?
We're at $1.10.
Yeah.
We've been going.
Seriously. It was a good day. Well, we had what? 2 weeks off?
Yeah, we had a week off. Yeah. So we're back at it. Well, I'm good.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it then. So where can they find you at? What do we got going on? It's the holiday season.
Holiday season. Still thinking about Christmas gifts. Couple days into getting ready for Christmas. Crazy. GC Rican on Instagram. GC Rican _ Valor PDS. ValorPDS.com. Valor Combat Academy of Meadville. I'm up on Facebook. So all out there, man.
Cool. I'm on a hiatus right now. So
you're on a social media hiatus?
Just a little bit. I'm not doing any Instagram.
Hey, one of these times we're going to have to talk about TikTok.
We're signing off.
I'm going to dab into TikTok.
We're signing off now. Enjoy.